Hello, 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 everybody. I keep
Hi,
wanting to do the
everyone.
spirit fingers. Have you ever seen spirit fingers?
Spirit fingers? I do like jazz hands or is jazz
Well,
hands?
you know, because the one I'm with is a cheerleader, and my first
Oh.
serious girlfriend was a cheerleader. I keep doing the spirit fingers. No, okay, maybe it's just me then.
We've got lots of people coming in.
Hi,
Hey, all you
everybody. Thank
SP
you that came
maniacs.
over.
Hi.
Hi. Um, I do want to lay a couple of ground rules. One, be nice to everyone in the comments. Remember, everyone is human. If you don't have something nice to say, please just do it. Your grandma always taught you and say nothing. I do want to say thank you so much for being here. And I guess the story behind this is quite a few people have been asking about my childhood. What was it like for me truly as a Sea Org kid? Before I joined the Sea Org, the full works, like what was it like with my parents? To give a better understanding. Hi, Duncan. Sorry, I just saw his name. Um,
He's
and
excited
I
about this.
and I thought, what a better person to do this, but with someone that's actually a real mom. Um, because realistically, we didn't have, like, I personally didn't have the happy-go-lucky mom. I didn't have the hugger mom. I didn't have the show up at sporting events mom. Um, I definitely had a mom of sorts, but her name was Sandra and still is. Um, and so I just want to say that if anybody has any quick questions, and then Marilyn will get started. You got the tissue ready just in case?
Oh, jeez, you better believe it. Oh my goodness,
Okay.
it's been an emotional week, as
Right?
you know, Liz.
If anybody hasn't had a chance to, please go subscribe to Marilyn. Go watch her and her daughters live. It was what kind of gave me a little oomph to do it with Miss Marilyn. Because you made it so easy for your daughter, and it couldn't have been easy for you to hear. But then at the same time, you're not that person. You are not. And I know that sometimes you just need to hear it, someone say it. So I'm going to say it. You're not that
Right.
person.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'm very honored that you wanted to come on with me. And if the phone rang, and I was like, "It's Liz. I gotta go." Of course, I'll always be here for you when absolutely when I can. And I I am just always so amazed at your strength, your fortitude, and your determination to help other people with your
Absolutely.
story and anything that you can do. So
Hmm.
so I really appreciate you being here too.
And
So
trust me, we all appreciate you. Hi, Mr. Poet. For some reason, I love just saying the name,
I
Mr.
know.
Poet.
Mr. Poet. Yes, everyone's
And
coming in
Kareen
to
saying, I
support
think I'm
you.
pronouncing that correctly. It's Kareen or
Uh,
um,
okay, I'm
shall I
gonna
say
mess it up, but I think it might be something like Karini. Kar- See, I don't
Karini?
Karini. I think so.
Carini.
You can tell us
That
if
would
it.
be if
See,
she's
you say
Spanish. Carini.
Portuguese. She's from
Okay.
Brazil.
So yeah,
Yep.
Portugal. So Karine.
Yep. Yep.
So sorry if I roll my tongues. I'm sorry. I was brought up, learning a lot more Spanish than anything else.
Oh,
Oh,
look, you said.
we
Look
got
at
a
this.
yes. One of us said it right.
I'm sure it was you because you can trill your R's. I can't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do that. I can't roll my tongue. I can't trill my R's.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Mr. Clearwater Chad. Thank you so very much.
Hi,
Can
welcome
everybody hear
everyone.
us? I'm just gonna put that
Good
out there
question.
because
Yeah. How's the volume and the all that? I don't know how I would fix it, but I'm just asking anyway.
right? It's like a hope and a prayer. I'm probably gonna throw a quarter and just be like, please work.
Mhm.
Or, get really close and be like, hi. Hi everybody. How you doing? I'm gonna probably get it a little
Xenu's
closer. There we
homegirl
go.
sending love. Yes, we're all sending love to Liz, and we're all here for you. Oh, sorry. I'm terrible at clicking.
Oh, did you
Oh,
double tap
yes.
someone?
Loud and clear. Yes. I just heard from Poe. I think he knows we're on. He'll probably come
Nice.
in and
Yeah, I sent Poe a message. I love that man.
I know, he's such a good guy. He really is.
Like just hearing him, it's so for me, it's so weird hearing like whether it's a woman or a man describing being a parent, and it's the complete polar opposite of what I got. So
Yeah.
it's one of those situations where you're just like, what's a good comeback? Like, do I say always wanted to have a parent like you? Like, not really sure what to say in that situation. You know, you guys, I'm a little jealous of your kids.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. Poe is the best. Yeah, he's really good. I think that Duncan's gonna be on Car Talk with him this Wednesday, maybe, because which is really funny. I think it's "How are you, Liz? How are you?"
It might be. It might be
I
how
think
are
it's
you? It
"How."
might be who.
Yeah.
If it's Karen, I just wanted to pull this up. If is that a how are you or is this a who are you? Because if it's a who are you, I am the daughter of Robert Ferris. I was told in 2004 that he was dead. Um, Everything seemed pretty good. It was shortly a couple months after coming out to my dad, which I thought went very well. Yeah, so it's a who.
Okay.
Um, And then in the process of that, almost 20 years later, I found out he's not dead. He's very much alive. And from the sounds of it, he was trying to leave. And so I am that daughter. I am that daughter that is filing, police reports and welfare checks and trying to do everything I possibly can to see my dad face to face and potentially get him out. And in the process of all of that, Scientology started attacking my friend, and that angered me. So I decided, you know what? If you want to go to war, let's go to war. I hope that clarifies some things for you. So who am I? I'm the child. Like I'm not a kid anymore, but there's still parts of me that I'm working through because unfortunately, deprogramming is not as easy as everybody thinks. Does
Yes,
that
it's a
answer it?
process, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to answer the question, "Who are you?" as well, we're gonna talk about, the beginnings a little bit, right?
Yeah. I
So,
would do my world
just
famous, like I'm rolling dice. So hi everybody. My name is Elizabeth Regina Ferris, and we'll just say it right there. I go by Liz. Um, Basically, the earliest memory that I have is literally sneaking past security, going past one set of double doors, turning left, and then waiting for someone to come out of another door and sneaking in. That area was called Incom, and it's where a lot of the secretive communications. I just wanted to see my mom. I would want to, see how things are going. I would want to just hear my mom talk to me. I just wanted someone to give a shit, for a lack of better terms. Um, we were basically free spirited, the kids. I know me personally, I was a tomboy. I would climb trees in dresses. I would run up and down what's now called L. Ron Hubbard Boulevard. It was the day in, day out monotony of scrambled eggs. Sometimes you get a little toast, but let's be realistic. If you didn't get there early enough, the toast was cold and rock hard. Um, and the eggs, yeah, they weren't warm. Some people threw it in the microwave. I was not part of that lucky crew. I was basically told to eat up and get going. Um, I hung out primarily with Sasha Obolinski. Um, okay, sorry that
No,
Sasha
okay, I won't put
Obolinski.
him up if I don't wanna
No,
distract
it's
you. Go
okay.
ahead
It's
and
okay. It's okay.
people are just saying hi.
Hi everybody. So I hung out with the Obolinskis and the Housens. Molly Housen was a primary, like my prime friend to hang out with besides Sasha. We were known as the AOLA kids. And so the reason we were called that is because in order for us to be able to go to one of the daycare centers, what had to happen was the captain, which was Ivan Obolinski, would have to give up one of his Sea Org members basically to watch us. And
Wow.
if he didn't give up one of the Sea Org members, the kids didn't go there. Now, he didn't want to give up Sea Org members. So basically, for quite a few years, we ran the streets of Los Angeles between ages 3 years old
Wow.
till 8 years old. After being 8 years old, all of a sudden it was, oh no, we finally got you a seat at the table at CC. So we started getting shuttled to CC instead of, hanging around Los Angeles. Like, see, a part of me wants to say hoodlums, but we didn't do anything wrong. We weren't breaking windows. We were riding bicycles down Hollywood Boulevard. We were riding bicycles down Sunset, doing all these things
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
in today's time, I would be pulling over and saying, "Where's your mom? I'm calling the cops." Like, well, why? But we finally got sent to CC. Now, I had been abused my whole life. As early back as I can remember, it was an iron fist. And so for me, it was kind of like when we finally got to go to CC, I finally had a place to play. It was an enclosed area. We had swings, we had slides, not like it is now. And then there'd be places that we'd be playing in mud puddles. I learned how to make my first, mud pie.
Now what were your what was the age that you originally your first memory of kind of sneaking, trying
My
to see
mom
your
says I
mom?
was 3. My
Wow.
mom says I was 3 years old when I first started sneaking into income.
And then when
Um,
you went to CC and
when I went to
playground and
CC,
all,
I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
And I
Wow.
remember because I'd gotten a birthday card from my nana, and it basically said, to the grade 8. And it was a cool day. I love cards. Like, I keep them all. But I was playing making mud pies, and so I'm here at CC. Everything is great, or at least I think it's great because I think it's the coolest thing ever to make a mud pie. And then, Sasha was teaching me how to make a good mud ball where you can chuck it at someone, but you could make it hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, soft. Don't get me wrong, but for some reason, I was so amazed by the fact that I could turn mud into a hard ball. Um, Turning around, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play on the swing. A swing was open. Well, it turns out as I'm playing on a swing, 8 years old, turns out someone had been on it like 5 minutes earlier and they were holding the swing. Um, I didn't know that it was a finders keepers kind of thing. Um, so he went and told his mom, who was, I don't know if she was a yard duty or a teacher or something else, but she told me to get off. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get off in a couple minutes. Just let me play. Nobody was here when I walked over to it. That wasn't good enough for her. She became pissed off because I guess it was her child. She then grabbed me by the arm and managed to catch some of my hair because I had long blonde hair. And so grabbed me by my hair and arm and yanked me into an office. And by yanked, I had nail prints in my arm. I remember being so terrified, but thinking that, "Oh, it's okay. My mom's going to rescue me." But is my mom going to do the same thing? And then the woman was like, "How dare you backtalk me?" And she hit me. And I mean, open palm, slapped me across the face. And I will remember this till the day I die. I had 3 nail marks across my face like Freddy Krueger had just walked into the room. And I started crying. It hurt so bad. It was one of those things where I was like, "Oh my God, like, I want my mom. I want my dad." And she made me stay in the room all by myself until my mom came. And this was a couple hours. Now, a couple hours later, my mom comes to pick me up. My mom sees the nail gouges because they gouged me so bad I had blood.
Yeah.
Um, she also looked basically under my underarm and was like, saw these massive nails dug in. And you know how hard you have to hit someone or grab someone to actually leave nail marks for hours.
Mhm.
Like,
Mm.
this wasn't a gentle pull in or come here, little one. No, this was, I still had it hours later. So then my mom walked up to this lady and she's like, "Did you strike my daughter?" And my mom's in what's known as her uniform. You know, it had the stripes and the pretty little sash that hung across. And she's like, you know, your daughter was back talking me. That's my mom just lost it, started screaming at her and said, if you ever touch my daughter again, I'll put you in the ground. I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen my mom do. It was one of those moments where it was like, not only was she a badass, she stood up for me. Then come to find out, I'm getting ready the next morning and I'm thinking that I'm going to go watch cartoons. I'm going to hang out with my mom. I'm going to have one of those moments where it's like, I get to spend the day with her and it's going to be great. And it's going to be a day to remember. And, you know, it's not. She put me on the bus and I went back to CC. Well, that teacher from then forward, or just Scientologist or whatever she was, then had it out for me for the rest of the time I was there. If I said anything loud or what she deemed out of hand, she would grab a bar of soap and shove it into my mouth. Just walk up and shove it in. And I remember thinking, like, what can I do? What am I doing that's so wrong? Like, how do I fix this? You try to tell your parents, you try to tell the people that pick you up, and they're just saying, get your ethics in. Well, if you had your ethics in, this wouldn't be happening. Like,
and you're 8 years old?
I'm 8.
Right,
all of that happened within a 2-week time period. Like, literally from the grab and smack to soap being shoved in my mouth was a 2-week time period. Shortly after that, my mom comes home and she was off of work really early. Like, normally she's home at like 11:30. And this night she was home and the sun was still up. And it was like, what's going on? You know, like, or is something special going to happen? And she's like, just so you know, I got a post in Florida. I was like, where's Florida? Like, is it near Nana? And no, Florida is on the other side of the United States. Like, son of a bitch. Sorry, everybody. But it's one of those situations where I went to Sasha and I told him, hey, my mom's got a post in Florida. We're only supposed to be gone a couple months. Okay, woody woo. He gives me a hug. Everything's good. We think we're going to talk again in a couple months. We get off the plane in Florida and it was a nightmare. The heat hit me like a ton of bricks. And at this time, I'm still 8 years old. And now we get to this place and it's this 2-story, what looks like a Motel 6 that has been converted into dorms. But because it was just my mom and I, and she was the LRH comm, which for those of you that don't know, that means LRH communicator. So they're responsible for making sure that LRH policies are run to the T. Like, don't break the rules. Here's his policy. It's not black, white, purple. No, black. There it is. No changing. So we get off the plane. Someone picks us up. They're super smiley. They can't help it. They drop us off at this rundown Motel 6. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, I'm sweating. And I'm like, am I going to have to get up every morning and take multiple showers? Because I'm sweating and I have barely moved like 4 feet. Next morning, I get up and I finally get to meet the people that are sharing the room with us. And it's this other mother and daughter. And the only problem is the daughter gets to go to public school because some of the people there got to go to public school. Some of us weren't that lucky. I was one of those people that wasn't that lucky. I immediately got told, you're in the cadet academy. And I was like, okay. Like, again, not quite understanding what's going on, but I kind of suspected that playtime was now over. Like, this wasn't going to be fun or a walk in the park. I got put on a team because each team had like different sections to clean, different things to do, but we had our study time in the mornings. we kept being told that we were going to go on hikes. I remember that a lot. Like, we're going to go on a hike. And hikes never happened.
Yeah.
There was a pool at this complex, but it wasn't swim worthy. Like, you could smell the mold from it. It was basically empty because I guess some people had not fooled around, like not the burnt chicka
Right. That not that
but
kind of
like
around, right.
um not done their job and cleaned it. So we didn't have a working pool. Um
Can you do that pon chicka pon pon thing again? That
Brown
was cool.
chicken, brown, brown, or
Yeah,
it's
thanks.
brown chicken, brown cow. Like that one. Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Anyways,
um,
sorry.
but so I got put on a team, and that team was assigned to the galley. Now, I wasn't
Uh,
part of the team that like, I know I got in trouble once and I had to scrub the trash cans or the dumpsters. Now, by dumpsters, no, I don't mean what you have at your house now. Like, you can go outside and you can look at your waste bin, your garbage bin. No, think of the dumpsters that are outside of a restaurant, because whatever food is not eaten or thrown away gets thrown in there. So
yeah.
yes, I did get put on the sweeping maggots. It was my first time ever seeing maggots, to be completely honest. And now I'm scared shitless of them. Like, don't let them touch my skin. I will cry. Um, I will have to immediately take a shower. But we got handed a big scrubber once when I was in trouble and had to scrub the walls. So that was fun. And I was a tiny little blonde hair, blue eyed child. Um,
Oh.
I also got assigned to the galley, and at first I thought it was fun. Like, I get to help cook. Like, this is cool. Like, I always wanted to participate in like helping people. I didn't know that we would have scalding hot water, and it had to be pressure washed first. Like, all the plates had to be pressure washed. And then we put them in this big plastic container, and we had to like line them up. And then this machine, you'd have to line it perfectly. And then you pull down the machine and it steams them real quick. While it's steaming in, as soon as it comes out, it goes psh. As soon as that's done, you lift it back up. You then move the plates. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, those plates were hot, and we did it with our bare hands. It's one of those things that it was like, oh, this is normal. This is no big deal. Oh, my hands are on fire. Just keep working, keep working. Don't, you know, we have to keep working till the end of the day.
You
And I
did
always
this
got,
you did this all day, right? Did you go to school at all?
no, I didn't go to school.
And you were
I
8 years
went to
old?
courses. I was just going to courses in the morning, which, because I I wasn't like a lot of the other kids. I understood some words, but I was a little behind. Like, I can look up a word faster than anyone. I knew my alphabet backwards, forwards, like the whole kit and caboodle. But when it came to words, I could not. Butterfly killed me.
Hmm.
Pronouncing the word butterfly was not in my wheelhouse. Um, in the process of that, we had school for a certain amount of hours. I was handed a dictionary and given this giant list of words to look up and put where they came from, how old the word is. Like, when we looked up words, like, we really went detailed into those words. And then I got really good at copying what the word meant, or at least copying word for word what it says in the dictionary,
Mm.
not converting it into my own words, because no, that just wouldn't have happened. Um, and I kept pissing my mom off. Like, my mom used to get migraines really bad. And unfortunately, on one of those nights that I had gotten off of the galley, and I was like having one of those, like, I got to do this all by myself. I put bread through the slicer and I didn't lose a finger like so and so.
Oh, God.
Um, and it was one of those things where I was so proud of myself for not losing a finger. Let's forget the fact that someone did lose a finger. And here I was, like, so proud of my 8-year-old self for not losing a finger. Um, in the process of that, I walk into my room. It's the mom and daughter. It's my mom, and she's got a migraine. And I asked her how things were going, and I was super excited to tell her how well I did in the galley. Um, and I pissed her off. That infuriated her to the point where she got up and she just smacked the shit out of me, and just it started wailing on my back. And I remember just begging her to stop. And the lady that was in the room with us goes, "That's abuse. You're beating your child." And my mom outranked her. But I remember thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to get it worse. I'm going to get it worse. This isn't going to stop. But she did. She didn't hit me again that night. The very next day, the woman and her daughter were moved out of our room. And it went back to rinse, recycle, repeat. Get up early in the morning with my mom. I would go to the cadet portion, line up for roll call. And then I'd go to the galley and we'd clean and all that stuff. And we did that for a couple more weeks. We were there a total of 6 months.
How many hours a day were you in school? Not really. Doesn't sound like you were learning much.
I
And then
wasn't
how
learning
long?
much. I'm going to say like 4 hours, but to an
And then how
8-year-old,
long were you doing? Were
the
you
rest of the
doing
day
slave labor? Meaning how long?
until the sun went down.
So like,
We usually got off at like 7, 8 o'clock.
and when did you start school?
At like 7 in the morning. Like it was
So
early morning.
12-hour day. So it sounds like you were in school for 4 hours and you worked for 8 hours
Roughly,
in the
I
galleys.
think so. Because again, I was 8 years old. To me, I remember going to bed when the sun was down. Not being done because we had to clean up the galley after everybody ate. It was one of those things where it was like, this is my normal. And then one day
Right. Right.
someone comes up to me, and it was this really nice guy. And I wish I knew what his name was, but he's like, I have a knowledge report that says that someone beat the shit out of you. And I'm like, none of the kids and I have fought. I promise I haven't been in any fights. Like I've never been in a fight like that. And no, dear, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm asking you, has anyone ever hit you on a regular basis? And for some reason in that moment, I felt so safe. I was like at any moment, this man was going to rescue me, and I was never, ever, ever going to be hit again. And in the process, he's like, so tell me what's going on. And so I told him, like, sometimes my mom has a really bad day, and it doesn't take much for me to piss her off. And she just will close fist hit me and just keep hitting me and tell me that she'll give me a reason to cry and get my TRs in and get my ethics in. And she'll keep going. And he's like, okay, that's all I needed to know from you. I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh shit, is he going to go and tell my mom that I told people what's going on for real? Like, is he going to be like the lady? Like, am I going to disappear? Like, because the lady that was living with us, she got moved, and I never saw her again. Like, do I think anything ill will happen to her? I don't think so, but I never saw her again. So I was thinking, again, my 8-year-old self, they're going to make me disappear because that's a normal thought.
Hmm.
But no, my mom was being sent back to Los Angeles because she was no longer qualified to be the LRH comma flag. That plane ride was this worst plane ride I've ever been on in my entire life. Like, she did not talk to me. She wanted nothing to do with me. You wouldn't even have known that I was her daughter. And then we get back, and my mom's expecting someone to pick us up from the airport, and nobody's there. She has no cash on her. Obviously, this was a time before cell phones. So nobody's there to pick her up because she's in so much trouble. She makes a couple of phone calls, and we get picked up. And then all of a sudden she's back to being the LRH comm. We have our room back again. And everything's supposed to go back to normal. Like, okay, so normal for me after this whole scenario is now going back and forth to one of the first sitters I had, Stan. If I knew his last name, I would gladly spit it out. He was the most vile man I think I've ever met in my whole life. We used to go there. He'd lay out a bunch of cots, and he had one TV that he kept in an upper shelf, and none of us were to touch it. None of us were to go in the kitchen. None of us were to go into the other bedrooms. We basically had a living room to play in, and then the front yard area that was, he had a fence around his whole front yard. And
So you said he was your
he
a
was like a
babysitter?
babysitter. He was a
But you had
babysitter. He was a
but you had
glorified babysitter.
cots? You
Yeah.
had cots to why? Because your mother was working overnight?
Yeah. Our parents would work overnight and they'd leave us there.
How many kids?
Sometimes there'd be 10, sometimes there'd be 16.
With Stan?
Yeah. There, the least amount of children I ever saw was 7. There'd be 7 of us. It was the smallest amount. But Stan didn't like me. And I used to try to befriend his daughter, and then his daughter and I became like what I thought was friends. But he used to always tell me that I'm a shit person. I'm just a shit person. And I never understood why I was a shit person. Like, I'm playing with my friends, like I'm here with my friends. I don't even know what makes me a shit person. Like, are my TRs not in? Am I not a good enough kid? Am I stupid? Like, what's wrong with me? And I just kept going over that, like, and one day we were all playing in the center of his house, and it was like this pillow fight thing because he had a little tiny trampoline. And so I hit Sasha with a pillow. And it was basically like you're supposed to jump on the trampoline and hit everybody. But I hit Sasha with the pillow, and Stan walked up and just slugged me right in the stomach. And I went flying past Sasha, and I hit my back against something. And Sasha was just like, "Are you okay?" And I couldn't breathe. For some reason, it felt like all of my air had left the building and I was dying. In that moment, it didn't stop. Like, I went to Sasha's dad, and not Ivan Obolinski, but Sasha's stepdad. And I can't remember his name for the life of me. Short guy, had a motorcycle, had a little side cart, he also worked at CC, where he was the cook after his duty in the RPF. I told him that he slugged us. Slugged me and then pushed Sasha. He was like, "Okay, I'm going to report this to your mom." And I was like, "Okay, we're never going to have to come back here, Sasha. We're going to go back to riding bicycles. It's going to be fine." And the next day comes. Nope. It's like nobody gave a shit, and we're being picked up and told we were going to Stan's. So then the next day, I'd be called like, "Hey, Liz, can you come do something? Can you get some water for everybody?" And he pushed me into the door. One time he pushed me into the kitchen, and I mean, like, I fell. And he's like, "I thought I told everybody to stay out of the kitchen. How dare you go into the kitchen?" And just started screaming at me. And I remember going outside and just being like, if this is what life is, I don't know how anybody gets through this.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it was everywhere I turned, there was something. And it made me realize that maybe I am a piece of garbage. Now, I'm not saying I feel that way now, but in those moments, you feel like you're shit. Like, nobody's going to love you. Because in those moments when you're begging for someone to save you, it's like it had to be a really, really hot day for me not to go to Stan's, or for me to go to Stan's and I could hang out outside. And they had this rope swing where Yuri and Serge had tied little knots in the rope so that they could teach me how to climb the rope and touch the tree. And it was one of those things where it was like I knew if it was hot enough, I would get to see my dad, and my dad would take me out of here. But then I was scared to tell my dad because I thought all the adults know. All the adults know what's going on here and they're doing nothing. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's just life. It's just how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be with adults. Like adults now have the permission to punch me and throw me into walls and shove me to the ground. And just over and over every single day. And so I just stopped telling people because it became, well, this is going to happen today. I'm either going to get it from her or I'm going to get it here. So I might as well just accept that I'm going to get it. And the next day will be so much easier if I just accept. Well, that went on for roughly about a year and a half. You know, I hadn't about a year and a half later, I had my little marriage ceremony to Sasha Obolinski at Stan's house.
And this is Serge Obolinski's
Serge
brother.
Obolinski's brother. Yep.
And
Because we
what were you,
swore we were
around
going to grow old
10?
together. I
Around
was
10?
9.
9 years old? Oh my
I was
goodness.
9, about to be 10 years old, like a couple months away from being 10. And it was, yeah, I was a couple months away from being 10. Like, I think I was like a month or 2 away from being 10. And all of a sudden it's like Sasha and I are like, we're married now. Now we can fornicate. So at 9 years old, we decided to bump uglies. And if anybody's going to get freaked out, no, we really didn't do it. We didn't. The closest perception would be like 2 scissors in the night. We didn't know how to do anything. So no, nothing really did happen. It was just one of those things. And then I thought I was pregnant for like 2 years. Just so everybody knows, I wasn't the brightest kid. I'm telling you, I really thought that from kissing, I got myself pregnant. And so I'm having a good time. Sasha and I bike all around the place. I'm just accepting whether I'm being hit on this end or if I'm being hit on this end. It's fine. It's fine. This is how we're supposed to grow up. This is what we're supposed to relive. And then my mom comes home one day and she's like, and my birthday was like a month away. Like, no, not even a month, because she had kept telling me that my Nana was going to see me for my birthday. And man, I never got hit by her, not until she got cancer. But I never got hit by her. She just said, I love you all the time. And so my mom says, pack your stuff. Grandma Lillian is coming to get you. Now, Grandma Lillian, just so you know, is my mom's mom. She hates Scientology and makes it vocal. She, on one of my trips up to Sacramento during the holidays, my grandma had me baptized because Scientology is not a religion. I think she did it just to piss my mom off, to be completely
What religion
honest.
was she?
Catholic.
Catholic, okay.
Yep. In the process of that, my grandma comes to get me. I'm thinking I'm just going to stay a couple days. I'm not allowed to say goodbye to Sasha. I'm not allowed to say goodbye to Molly. I was literally like, my grandma came and I was to get in the car and we were to leave. She wasn't telling me what was going on. She just put me in a car. Now my grandma did not like me. She wasn't physically abusive, but she did not like me. She was the dark brown hair, the Spanish name, and here I was, blonde hair, blue eyes, don't look like her, not as smart as her favorite daughter or favorite granddaughter. So I constantly got compared to how stupid I was compared to that granddaughter. And that's what my life was on the outside. But so my mom packs me all up. Everything that we could get into my grandma's car went with me. And then as soon as I get up to Sacramento, I'm told that I need to go to bed. And then we'll unpack the car later. And then we'll call your mom and she'll tell you what's going on. Well, for the next 6 months, I got to call every single day. And I was never allowed to talk to my mom. Like, I thought my mom was gone because I called every single day down to AOLA every fucking day. Did I? Okay, we're not 10 minutes in.
Oh, no, we're fine.
Yeah, so every day there was a phone call. 213 number, 213, 213, 213. And never got to talk to my mom. So I really thought she was gone. And then all of a sudden I get told, get in the car, Elizabeth. We're going to Aunt Cindy's. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what's going on. And she's like, Aunt Cindy broke her back. And I was like, okay. So I get in the car and we drive from Sacramento to Modesto. And then I'm sitting there staring at my aunt who's got these giant rods now in her back and giant staples down her back. And I'm 10 years old now. Like, that was the scariest thing I'd ever seen, ever.
Yeah.
And the doctors were like, yeah, so I guess her and her husband were goofing around and he slammed her against the corner of the bed and broke her back. Cool. So this is going to happen until I'm an adult and even further. Cool. So in the process of all of that, we go back to my Aunt Cindy's house. My Aunt Cindy stays in the hospital. We're there with her husband who just broke her back. And all of a sudden my grandma goes, Joe, you need to go pick up Sandy. And I'm like, Sandy, like my mom, she's alive. Like, how did you get a hold of her? And my grandma says, don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, can I come? I want to come. Like, if we're driving to get her, I want to come. And I wasn't allowed to go. It was him and Felicia. We're just going to give her a name, just so everybody can be like, bye, Felicia.
I love you,
Little
Liz.
did I know. I have it too. Little did I know, but he was abusing Felicia. He later went to jail for abusing Felicia. But then I knew my mom was alive. And the abuse had stopped for a little while. It literally did. It stopped for like a year. And then all of a sudden it came right back.
So you're saying it's the abuse stopped for a year, the physical abuse.
Yeah.
Because you were at
once my mom got out.
Okay.
Once my mom got out, again, I was 10 and I didn't get hit at all until I was almost 12 years old. And I had said fuck in front of an adult. And, someone told my mom about how vulgar I am. Or that's how my mom told me. My mom's like, I'm sick of people telling me how vulgar you are. And, and I got a nice little shiner. Then I got a busted cheek. And then I got a broken jaw. And then I got another busted ocular socket. And, you learn to.
Right now I'm going to swear. What the fuck? I mean.
No, I've broken every bone in my body.
And honey, you said the abuse stopped for a year. The abuse did not stop. The physical abuse.
The physical
you
stopped.
Have been abused.
The emotional.
Right.
Never.
Right. I just wanted to, bring that up, that none of this is okay. None of this.
No.
And I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye all the comments, people crying and getting pissed because you kids, I mean, where is the FBI? Where is law enforcement? This is just absolutely horrendous.
They did nothing. I had an amazing
proud
teacher,
of you, Liz, for even having the strength to talk about it. And please pace yourself. You don't owe us.
I may skip around everybody, but we're doing it.
Any part of your story, you just pace yourself, sweetheart.
So
We're
then
here for you. We love you.
so to put me in a sport so that way there was reasons for bruising and everything else. I got put in softball, I got put in swimming, and then it turns out I really liked them. I was really good at swimming. I was really good at softball. But it was a way to justify some of the bruises and, oh, she's just playing a lot of sports, you know. And then, few years pass by of more, my grandma telling me that she loves me. And then when I say, I love you, grandma, she's like, I wish you had grades like Felicia. I do. Oh, I wish you had, I wish you looked like Felicia. Like, I wish you were skinny like her. You would have so many new friends if you were just skinnier. Um, and it didn't stop with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I could get straight A pluses. It didn't matter. It did not matter because even if all of my grades said A plus, you're just not as smart as Felicia, you know. And so, sorry, that name's gonna get old after a while, but at the same time, I
No.
really like that saying, "Bye, Felicia."
Bye,
Um,
Felicia.
so it
She's
was
lucky
it was
you're
a
only calling her Felicia, I guess. Right?
right? But,
Being nice.
it was a constant comparison, and
Yeah.
she didn't have a good life. Felicia didn't have a good life either, but, you know, you learn to lie. I can't tell you how many times I told people, "Yeah, I fell down the stairs of my one-bedroom house or my one-story house," I went through a window. Now, this one wasn't anyone's fault before anybody goes and gets the pitchforks. I was trying to open the frame, like where you squeeze it, because it had one of those clip handles. I was
Mm.
trying to open it and the clip broke clear off and I slid right on through. So, oh, you can't even see it. Oh, man, I've never been so excited. I'm putting this light on everywhere in my house because you can't see any scars. Um, but 150 stitches. So, cut here, cut the artery, and then all the way here. So, I couldn't swim anymore. So then I wasn't playing any sports, and because I wasn't playing any sports, um, there's there's not a lot you can do except, since you almost died, I would take it with Tylenol and I'd go to bed because unfortunately I lost a lot of blood, and I kept begging for my dad. Now this is after a couple months of, him promising me he'd sent me a Christmas card or he sent me a birthday card, and I was getting out of class and, like, running home. You'd see this, like, bushel of hair, and I'm like, "I gotta get to the mail first," and there'd be nothing there, and this happened for years. And so, I go through the window and I almost die. I I know that I was unconscious a lot. My mom told me that I was in and out of it for, like, 3 days, that they almost brought me back a few times because they thought I was dead. Um, and then suddenly it was, "Oh, Elizabeth, your dad's coming to see you." "What? Oh my god, that's amazing." My mom tells me years later, "Oh, by the way, I threatened to call the police on him and out everything." Like, I was not gonna settle with every secret I know, I'm gonna settle with everything. And so, she was the first person to threaten my dad, and all of a sudden, my dad came to see me, and I didn't know for a couple of years. That was, like, the greatest day ever. Like, I got to see my dad. My dad was right there. Um, and I really thought he was there for me. So, I don't know if it was meant with disrespect to let me know that, by the way, I threatened him, and that's the only reason he came, not because he loved you, but because I threatened him. And, a couple years passed by, and, I would explain everything in between, but it's the same shit, rinse, recycle, repeat. Like, nothing got better. Um, well, things got different instead of a switch. And if anybody ever believes in switches, um, there was this one thing where I was given, 10 from the big stick, or I could go find a stick of my choice and I get 5. Okay, I can do math. 5 is less than 10. So I went outside and I grabbed the smallest branch I could find. Ladies and gentlemen, pick the big stick. Always pick the big stick, because that little one hurts more than anything you'll ever know. But yeah, always pick the big one, just so everybody knows. So a couple years pass by. I meet this girl. Let's just call her Jamie. And in the process of that, that whole year was pretty much the worst year of my life. And then I have a baby. And I'm like, well, I can't handle it. I need to go home. I need to go back to LA. I need to go back. So still being a child, um, barely having a high school
How
diploma,
old were you? How old were you then when you
17.
met Jamie? How old?
No, when I first met Jamie, I was
Yeah.
15. When that happened, I was 16.
16.
Yeah. And then when I joined, I just turned 17, I think. Yeah. But I was still a kid that just had a baby
Yeah.
and cried all the time. And I joined. And so that would be, I guess, more of like the part 2, because it's more what I did in the Sea Org.
Yeah.
But I did get duped, just so you all know. I went for an event. I got duped and told, "Oh yeah, we're connected to gold." That was a big fat fucking lie. So I know I skipped around a little bit. That is my youth up until joining the Sea Org. I'm hoping everybody understands, but inside Scientology, they make it seem like they're protecting you, but they're not. They never gave a shit about me. It was all about the fact that this other person knew I was being beaten. Other people knew Stan was hitting us and pushing us and throwing us against the wall. And everybody knew inside, and nobody cared. If a parent said that they cared, they're lying, because we were shit to them. We were, honest to God, shit. A wog walking off the street. So basically, someone wanting to join Scientology would have meant more to our parents, or at least my parents, than their own child did. So when people ask me, why am I trying to save my dad? Because he's still human. He's still my dad. And we need to be better than what we had, because what we had was shit. It didn't get better. It got worse. Like I'm in therapy and will be in therapy for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with that, because without therapy, I would not be here today. Without my love, I would not be here today. Finding out that Scientology isn't real was a real kick to the ass, for me. But don't let people say that they believed and that they, at least in my experience from what I had, I did not have love. There was no happy, happy, joy, joy. There was a few moments of happiness, so surrounded by medieval torture. It was one blow after another. And it's gotten better now, because now for the first time, I have a family. I have a partner. There's children. We have dogs. My mom is still in my life. She's not the same person that she was, but she still has her moments. I, for my own benefit, have to be better. And sometimes that means eating crow on what's happened to me my whole life. So we have now talked for an hour. Marilyn, I see you're sad. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sad, but I'm also absolutely so proud of you. And you are. I wanted to. I wanted to just give you the space. I hope you feel. I hope you feel the love. Everyone watching and anyone who's going to see this replay. And my heart goes out to you. And I just want you to know you are beautiful inside and out. You are worth it. I mean, this is absolutely just opposite. It's just disgusting. And I commend you for being willing to talk about
Oh,
it and share it
sorry,
with
buddy.
us. No, just take your time, sweetheart. Take your time. We all love you. We're here for you.
Thank you so
And
much. I do have to say this because I keep forgetting. Please smash the like, hit
yes,
subscribe. I know I'm
please do.
a mess right now.
That's
But
okay. Just
realistically, in order to get my dad out, I have to make the biggest stink, and not stink, but I have to make them push him out. So the more I can get the message out, the better. So please smash that like,
yes.
smash subscribe. Let's keep this story going so that way we can, yes, Goldie, we can make noise. And the
We're
more
not gonna
noise, the
stop,
better.
right? Yep. We're not gonna
Because
stop.
some of us had really bad childhoods. And I know other people have a different story. That's mine. Maybe someone got more love than I did. I know that some people were allowed to call their parents mom and dad. I was not. Um, their names were Robert, Bobby, Bob, or Sandy, or Sandra. Um, each of us have our own different story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
Yeah, me too.
No,
So
that's the most no, I'm really gonna bawl because that's beautiful. I'm so
that is
happy
my
for both of
love.
you.
Yeah, she
Thank you, Carrie. We love you, Carrie. We love you.
yeah. Okay, so who's got
Thank you.
questions before we both
All
start
right.
crying again?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, because
So I have a question.
let it
um,
rip.
okay. And you don't have to answer it, but
I will answer anything as long as it's not disrespectful, which I doubt you know how to be that.
no, no,
We're good.
no. Has your mother come to terms with any of this? I mean, is she still a little bit mentally in? Does she go to therapy at all? I mean,
No, she will
has
never go
she
to therapy.
apologized to you? Anything?
No. My mom was like, when I started going to therapy, and I was like, I just need you to admit what you did to me was fucked up. Like that it was abuse. I need you to admit that to me. And she's like, it is not abuse, it is discipline. Bitch, I don't know any parent that would describe breaking bones discipline. So,
No.
and that's going to be the best that I get. And you know what? It has to come to a point where I have to let that go because I need to be better. And in
Yeah.
order to be better, unfortunately, that means that I have to eat crow because she's never going to admit what she did was wrong. She's never going to admit she took me and brought me into a cult. She thinks David Miscavige messed up Scientology and that
Mm.
LRH is just,
She still thinks
still
he's
God.
Ugh, she's gotta read Barefaced Messiah or something like that. My goodness.
I'm pretty sure she's got to read any one of the people that have gotten out his book.
Yeah. My
Mike Rinder,
Mike,
you got
Mark,
Leah,
yeah,
you got
Amy.
Mark
Yeah.
Headley, Amy,
Mhm. There's
you also have Jenna
dozens of them.
Miscavige. And
Yeah.
and then,
She
our
won't listen.
smokable and read Elizabeth, or Liz Gale,
Liz Gale.
because
Yes. They're
it's so
both
weird. We
awesome.
both have Elizabeth. It's so weird. I
I
love it
know.
because I'm like, what's up, Liz? Good morning, Liz.
You're my 2 favorite Liz's in the whole world. I love you.
Yeah, she is my favorite Liz. But yeah, does that answer your question a little
Yes,
bit?
so it sounds like she's just kind of in
Yeah, Carrie can
denial.
probably answer you the best. She may not, but Carrie can probably answer you the best as to she'll never change.
Yeah, and the fact that you're still in touch with her and forgive her and let her in your life, it's you can you can forgive, but you can't necessarily trust or forget. So,
Yeah, I'll
what
never.
happened was not okay.
Yeah, so when people ask me, why do you flinch? Do you have time to sit and hear about my life? Because just say okay and let me flinch because unfortunately I do. I also have a very hot head because of growing up where you were constantly you didn't know if you were gonna get hit or if you were gonna survive, if that makes
Right.
sense. Like, which hit was gonna be the one that killed me? Like, that's all I could think of during those moments that it would happen. Is this gonna be the final time? Is this gonna be the time that I don't wake up? Would that be such a bad thing? But, yeah, I wouldn't be here if that didn't happen. So, yeah, it has its moments. But, I don't mean to make
No,
everybody
I'm
cry
sorry.
or emotional, even though
No,
I'm
it's I
fogging up
mean,
my glasses left, right, forward, and center. Um,
I think anybody who has a dry eye is probably stoic, like I just and I'm extra, I'm extra.
you're
What
a
can I
good
say?
mom. You're
Extra.
a good mom. I know that you were brought up in a cult, but you have to remember a few things. Did you ever break any of their bones? Did you?
No.
Are they still here and loving you? Then you did pretty good
And
because I don't
Liz,
talk to
I
her
can
unless I have
relate.
to.
Yeah, Liz, I can relate to you. I haven't told my story from, age 5 when the fire happened to age 9 when I just say that I couch hopped, but I literally had to be taken by DCF or, Child Protective Services. And I know what it's like to have bruises all over me. I know what it's like to go to school and lie and say you fell off the swing when you were
Mhm.
actually beaten by an alcoholic, in a anger rage. But I just there was SA in my life too. So when I hear your story, I can feel I feel the pain because I know what it's like in some ways, but let's face it, Scientology is institutional, child abuse. It's child trafficking. It's everything that Serge says. It's everything that you're saying. It's everything that we hear day after day after day. And I'm sorry, like everyone who is listening, please take care of yourself. I guess we should have put a trigger warning, but
I do
if you see
apologize.
us
I didn't
here,
put a
we
trigger
know,
warning.
but it's we're talking about your childhood and you're in Scientology. So I'm sure most people that know that. But please, everyone, self-care. It's not for everyone. Not everyone is at the place where they can hear it. Um, yeah, maybe I'm a little triggered, but I want to be here for you. And I will. And if you don't mind me
And I
blatting my eyes out, I am here because I just want to hug you. I just, it is not okay. It's not okay that you didn't feel like you were enough. It's not okay that your mother took out her anger on you and justified it as discipline. None of this is okay. And all this stupid thing about get your TRs in and your ethics and all. What the hell? What the fuck does that even mean? Like
it
when my
means for them, unfortunately, it means like when you get hit and you get hit so hard that you're crying and something just snapped or broke or it hurt so bad that you didn't think that you could come back from that pain. What it means is stop crying, take it silently, and it'll stop. But the trick is even when you start to take it silently, it still doesn't stop. So, you know, please remember that we were kids and this was my life. This was everything that I knew. Did some people have amazing experiences? I've heard some people had good ones. I personally did not, but I did have a few good memories in there. The Obolenskis, the Housens, we had some good memories in there, but we also have some bad ones. So realistically, all we can do is be there for each other. I don't want another child to go through what I went through. And if that means that I expose myself and I let it all out, then that's what I'll do, because there's children in there that are being screamed at, that are being told they're out ethics, that are being told that they have to eat rice and beans, that are being told they have to dig a ditch and their body should fit in it. There are people that are just starving and can barely stay awake, but they're trying to get through a course without anybody noticing that they're so exhausted that they're falling asleep. People are trying their best. But just remember, just because it looks like roses on the outside doesn't mean it doesn't smell like shit on the inside. Kathy Collins, abuse with tax exempt. Where's our government? If I knew where our government was, I would gladly scream it at them. I know I personally called Child Protective Services on myself once. It didn't end up so good for me, They did not take me to a group home. I had bags packed. I was excited. I really thought they were going to pick me up and take me to a much better place. And even though I was going to lose my Nana, it didn't matter because they were going to take me to a much better place. I didn't care if we were poor. I just wanted someone that said, I love you. And not with the heavy hand or the phone cord wrapped with duct tape.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So when people ask, how was my childhood? Next question, please.
Okay.
Now you guys know.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Stacy Toms. Liz, were you not allowed to attend public school because of your age, or was there a different reason? When you were 8 and you went to cadet or?
Yeah, to be completely honest, I have no idea why I didn't go to public school. I know that I didn't get all of my vaccinations. I've since gotten a lot of my vaccinations, but I know that I didn't get all of my vaccinations. So that could have been a reason. But then at the same time, it's like it could have also been an excuse as to why to not put me around wogs, even though in the tech it says to keep the kids around the wogs so that way can't make new Scientologists if they don't see that we're happy and healthy.
Right. So this guy wants to send you a message, and he is, I'm going to call him out right now. He is definitely old enough to be your father. So, okay. So he can be your stand-in.
I have a baby
for a little
face,
while.
everybody. You never know.
No, I know how old you are, and he definitely is.
Yeah, because I was born in 1980, so
way old enough to be your yes. Duncan Honig, this is gut-wrenching. Thank you for having the courage to expose this. You're a survivor. More power to you. May this vile cult be completely exposed and justice done. He says that to me every day. He's like, well, that vile cult, like, yes.
Yeah, one day it will be. I have to believe that one day, it will be. Leah's got her lawsuit. The girls have their lawsuits.
Yep.
There's so many lawsuits now that it's people's eyes are opening. And even though it's hard at times and it's raw and there are times that it's like, can I really expose what I went through? Do I really want people to know what I really went through? Like, sorry about that. I think I just hit puberty.
Oh, you're so cute.
But
it's about time.
Right? We have to keep hope. And sometimes hope is dangerous, but you know what? I have to believe in something, and hope is what I got. And I'm hoping one day that I'll see those doors smashed for the last time. That someone will come in and be like, this is bullshit, guys. Wake up.
Yeah.
That I'll see my dad and after a little bit of therapy, I'll be able to hug him and be like, look, this is my story. This is what you missed because you chose this. This is what happened to me because you chose this.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to talk about it and never talk about it again. We'll be able to move past it. Yeah, the Berlin Wall. People used to say it's coming down, it's coming down. Someday it's going to come down.
Right.
And then it came down.
Yep.
So it is a vile cult. But you have to remember, we're all
Downright vile.
humans that this happened to. We all have a story and we all are humans. Not all of our life was bad, but a lot of it was. I had happy moments. If I didn't have some happy moments, I wouldn't be here. I had a great great grandmother that was probably the most amazing person that I'd ever met. She showed me what love is until she got cancer. And once she got cancer, unfortunately, it spread through her body like wildfire. And she had watched her son go through cancer surgery, so she swore she would never do it. I'm 83 years old. I've lived a good long life. That's all she would tell me over and over again. I can't wait for my next travels. And that's why we wear the St. Christopher's, because that was hers.
Oh, really?
That was my Nana's.
Oh.
And so I wear it because it's the patron saint of travels, because wherever she's traveling, I hope she knows that I love her. But, she died a very grueling death. And in that grueling death, she hit me. She hit me hard because I wouldn't help her spy on some people. But it was the pain
She
that
wasn't
she
in
was
her
in from
right
cancer.
mind. Yeah.
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 She wasn't in her right mind. But I did get to carry her casket at 12 years old.
Wow.
Like, I was so excited. Like, none of you fuckers will carry this. Screw you. She's my Nana. And I literally, I had to wear this like green culotte outfit. Where it was like a green shirt vest, like a shirt
Oh,
vest,
yes.
and some green, dumbass shorts. And I had nylons on and some green shoes. And I got to carry the casket. If anybody asks how heavy a casket is, really fucking heavy. Really fucking heavy, because I had to sit there and adjust like every couple seconds. Because, man, that sumbitch was heavy and she was only 4'11".
Wow.
It is all casket. That shit is heavier than anything. But I would like some questions from everybody.
Okay.
Please give me something.
Yes. We've got
Let me put my glasses back on.
mostly lots of comments just giving you lots of love. I mean, we could be here all night because everyone loves you and they're just sending lots of hugs. You needed a huge hug as a kid.
Yeah, I did.
And
I also needed someone to say they cared. But I appreciate you guys all caring now. I'm a lot
Absolutely.
older. I'm working through therapy.
Yeah.
My therapist would tell me that this was a really good idea as long as it was something I wanted.
Right.
I do want everybody to know, then this is what in my story keeps getting left out. And I do need people to understand. Vanessa LaRose, Alicia, man, I always forget her last name. Let's just call them Degraded Daughters of Dianetics. I reached out to Claire. Claire was helping me all along the way. But if Vanessa hadn't gone with me, I wouldn't be where you guys see me now. So I do need everybody to know that Alicia, Vanessa, oh God,
Yeah.
my love, Carrie, thank you so much. Because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. You kept me going when the light seemed dim. So please understand that I need everyone to know that I cherish and respect and value you guys. So please, if y'all can show
Yes.
some love to those women, I would totally appreciate it, because
Yes.
they're pretty cool.
We love the Degraded Daughters of Dianetics and Carrie for being there for you and holding your hand every step of the way. And V and E, they're just so precious to me.
Right?
And yeah, they're awesome. And use second gens. I can't say it enough. I said it to Liz Gale the other day. Scientology never saw you all coming. Like Liz
No,
Gale
they
said.
saw
She
us
said,
coming, but they were hoping we were going to turn around.
well, she said, wouldn't they think we wouldn't grow up
Yeah.
and want to fight back? You
Right?
didn't choose this. You didn't
No, I
choose
didn't
this.
start this war.
That's
But as
right.
Poe said, I didn't start it, but I'll damn well finish it.
Finish it.
Until my
Right.
last breath, I will make sure that everyone knows what kind of people you have inside, what kind of things that you do to children, what things happen that you cover up. Because at any point in time with half the shit I went through, should the police have been called? Yeah. Yeah. Did they? No, not a chance.
It's just unbelievable.
And I am sure to tell you, I am not the only one that this went through. Or went through this. Sorry, everybody. My stutter's coming.
You're not only a survivor, you are a thriver. I love that. And there was something mentioning the inner child, the fact that you brought up things that happened to you when you were young and you didn't have someone. You didn't have someone there. That one lady that tried to intervene for you in that hotel or whatever told your mother that's abuse and she disappeared.
Yeah.
Wherever
I don't know if
she
she was
is.
shuttled to another location, but either which way, I never saw her again. I never saw her or her daughter ever again after that day.
And she tried to defend you. So wherever you are, lady, if you're still with us, thank you for that one
Yeah. Thank you
act of.
for that moment.
And that's one of the, sorry. You are paying those moments forward, Liz, because those small acts of kindness you never forgot, right? And
No.
we all have people in our life that along the way showed us a little bit of beacon of what, oh, this is what it's like, and showing that little kindness or that mercy. I had that too, and that's why I want to pay it forward and help others, because I wouldn't be here today, like you said with Vanessa and Alicia and Carrie, that you wouldn't be standing on 2 feet if you didn't have that love and support around you.
Right.
And the same for my husband. I mean, I really lucked out because we left the cult together, and that's just pretty much unheard of. Every other marriage I know is either kaput or they're still in, or I got very, very, very fortunate to have someone that understands where I came from and supported me. So I think that everyone that's in the chat and listening and sending love, and sorry, I don't have anybody in StreamYard to help me tonight, so I'm a little bit disjointed, but I wanted to be able to focus on you, Liz, and your story. So if I missed any questions, please, you can put them in the comments. Everyone, please watch Liz's channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like this and every other video. Liz has put together a whole playlist. If you go in on her channel, you go into playlist, there's like dozens of hours of live streams.
You told me to put on my lives under the playlist so that people can see it, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, if you hit one, they could even just play it for overnight. That's what I did last night. I set it up and it just played all night, and I went to bed, came up, and it was still playing. But it gives you watch hours. We're coming up on over the halfway mark on your watch hours for you to get semi-monetized. So everyone, please show her love and support. Play that playlist. Smash the like.
Hit subscribe. And do the same with Miss
Liz is doing this to get the word out, to help save her dad and anyone else that's still in there, that especially ones that want to leave, and those children and those elderly. And I'm going to start blatting again, but they need us. They need you. They need to be advocated for, if only to, like Goldie said, make noise and don't stop. Contact your congressman, your representative. I know Goldie has the link, and I'm gonna make a pledge to myself to do that Monday morning, is to pay the $3.99,
something like that.
If you can afford that, the $3.99, they'll send a postcard directly to your representative. So anything that we can do. I mean, there are thousands of us. There's more than Scientology. So
Yeah,
I believe you're right, Liz. I think that they are to have hope because the writing's on the wall.
yeah.
The writing's on
And
the
just
wall.
remember, every time you hear Leah, every time you hear Mike, um, they paved
Yeah.
the road. You
Yes.
know, Mark Headley,
Absolutely.
Claire Headley, they paved the road. But the second gens, we've got to come together, be nice, be there for each other, because we all went through one form of shit or another. And I've got your back 100%. And if anybody needs me, you can email me. I may not get I may not get back to you right that second, but you know what? I definitely get back to everybody. I know a few people emailed the Save Bob at please put up the wish list. So I put up my Amazon wish list. I'm not saying buy anything from it. I got another email today, like, how do we donate to you? And I was like, I don't know any of that. I did the buy me a coffee and the Amazon wish list.
Good.
I'm not good at asking for assistance. We did the fundraiser, and that was amazing. And every single person, I got to go in there and say thank you. And, I'm
Well, you're
really
not
big on thank
asking,
yous.
we're asking you how we can help, you know.
True, but it's still
We're
weird because I'm
I
still
know,
me. I'm
honey. I
just
know.
Liz.
I know. And Carrie save Bob Ferris at gmail.com. Thank you,
Yes,
Carrie.
that is the email. If
And
anybody has any questions, if someone is a second gen and listening, please come reach out. Any one of us will talk to you. You don't have to be in the shadows, but if you need to be in the shadows, we do understand. So please understand, what you've gone through is not okay. What
yes,
you've experienced is not
absolutely.
okay. Being given assists by adult men or adult women, you shouldn't have been touched. That's your body. No form of touching should have taken place.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you shouldn't have been on the diets. A growing person needs more than 800 calories a day. That's how you survive. Living with cockroaches is living in squalor. So just remember, you're worth more than you think. And we've all been there, and we'll continue being there. So I hope that helps everybody. I don't think we had any problems in the chats. If I missed anybody's, because my
Nope.
glasses keep fogging up.
Fabulous. Goldie was here. Thank you so much, Goldie and Carrie, and anyone else I missed that was helping with modding. And yeah, I think I couldn't say it any better. Everyone is just giving so much support and love. And if there's anything else you wanted to say, Liz.
Be sweet, be kind, be real. For better terms, love thy neighbor. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Sorry, that's a big one. My great grandma
The
spit that one
golden
out.
rule.
Besides, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
That is pretty much my motto.
Yes. Goldie said, my biggest hope is that this community can bring a true and genuine comfort to any and all trauma impacted people.
Yes. And we're there for each other, and
Yes.
you're there for us. That's how it.
Thank you.
Oh, someone said, you rock, Liz. Where's that Liz is?
You
Hold
can
on, why
click
don't I
on it.
just click it myself? There we go. I
Yeah.
have the power. Don't make
You
me
do.
pull
I
my
gave you full
power
power.
of Grayskull. Denver.
Oh, I love you,
I
awesome
know Denver has
ladies.
a live. Denver, can
Yes,
you
5
respond?
minutes.
In 5 minutes, Denver has a live. So anybody that's still here, please head over to Denver.
Denver Steve-O.
Yeah, just follow his link, subscribe to him. He's a good guy. I think he's single, ladies. I'm just saying. I
All
think
the
he's
single
single.
ladies. All single.
All
We might
single
even make
ladies.
him sing it. We're going to make him sing it tonight. So tonight is Xenu Nation at 9:30 Eastern, which is in 6 minutes. And, it's unfortunately, it's not Sleeping with Steve-O tonight. I think that's Monday night. But yeah, go.
Why on a Monday? But that works.
I don't know.
That works. But anyway, please, hit subscribe, like,
Yes.
Free Xenu Nation. Liz, you're stronger than you know. Absolutely. I get stronger every day.
Thank
And
you.
I know Leah and Mike asked me, they asked specifically who's sharing my story. Aaron shared part of my story, like what's happening with my dad. I wanted to share my story, my childhood. But I had to do it in my own ways because it's sometimes not easy. And thank you all for listening. Thank you for being there. Don't forget to tip your waiter. Other than
And don't
that,
forget to give Liz some watch hours. She has amazing content. You'll get more out of it than you know. So,
absolutely. And
please,
again, if
thank
I
you for your
missed
support.
anybody's questions, concerns, or statements, you're more than welcome to email me. I will email you back. But thank you so much for watching. And you ready to head out?
Yep. Good night,
All
everybody.
right. Good night,
Take care.
everybody. Talk to you soon.
Bye.